afternoon. We'd like to welcome you to New Vocations Racehorse Adoption Program, our facility here in Lexington out at the historic Mereworth Farm. And I just wanted to let you know that we're excited to have you guys join along and join us online, live from your homes. Maybe some of you still at work, but I know a lot of you are at home right now, and we appreciate you all joining us. Want to say this is our very first live tour, so I'm a little nervous. And so we're going to hopefully not have any technical difficulties. It's a little windy today, so we're going to be inside for the majority of this and then swing out outside. So what we hope from this tour today is that you can get a good glimpse of what we do here at New Vocations. We're going to introduce some of our adoptable horses, some of the horses like this one that's already been adopted. We're going to show you the day-to-day stuff that we do here, some of the rehab and the training. And we're going to introduce you to our team, specifically our trainer here, and show you some of the training that we're going to be doing today. And hopefully answer any questions that you might have. If you have questions, just post them there and we'll do our best to get to them. So thank you for joining. And I forgot to introduce myself. My name's Anna Ford, and I'm the Thoroughbred Program Director. And I started working for New Vocations over 20 some years ago. The program started in 1992 by my mom, Dot Morgan. So I was there, if you want to do the math, I think 14 years old, when she came up with the idea of making sure that thoroughbreds and standardbreds, when they retire from racing, have a place to go. And not only to just not to retire, but to go on to second careers. So her mission back then is the same as it is today. We focus on rehab, retraining, and then adopting out the horses that come through our program once they retire from racing. So thought we would just kind of go through the barn. This barn here, we have 15 horses. Some are in, some are out right now. We're going to introduce you to a couple that are here. This one in particular is Silent Mission. If we can get a little close up. And as the sign says, he's been adopted. He came to us from Appin Woods. Riley McDonald was the breeder and owner on him and donated him to our program. He has been with us since December, and he was just recently adopted, and he's going to go to Virginia, where he's going to be a local hunter jumper. He is by, for those of you that have been on some of or following the thoroughbred industry, he is by Scott Dowdy, the late Scott Dowdy. And we have found that many of the Scott Daddies that have come through this program have been very great to work with, just like he has. So we're very excited to have him go on to his next career and new home. You can see he had quite fun last night in the mud. They just keep going out every night and rolling in the mud, so they're not going to be as clean as they normally are with our nonstop rating. So, Silent Mission. So let's walk on down. And throughout the tour, you're going to meet some of our other animals that help us here. This is a major team member of ours, Rambow. If you follow our website and our social media, you will see him in a lot of videos and photos, because anytime the camera is out, he is sure to be there. And his owner is Miss Leandra Cooper. Hello. Who is also our facility director and trainer, and she pretty much runs the show here. She's in charge of all 50 horses that we have here at any given time. And so I wanted to introduce her and have her show us Flying Arrow. Let's start with him, or did you want to talk about this guy?
Oh no, he just wanted to be cuddled, so I can't turn him down. This is Stop Asking, who is adoptable as well. Flying Arrow is right next to him, is his neighbor. He's actually going home tomorrow. It's his last day here. He's really enthused, as you can tell. He's mostly excited to go see his new mom in North Carolina. Flying Arrow came to us from Richard Mandela's barn. He came from Santa Anita, and he's been doing really well here. Shows a lot of potential as a sport horse prospect. So he'll be doing some jumping dressage and maybe a little eventing down the road. But he's really blossomed here and grown into a great prospect. So we're excited to see what he does.
So just a little tidbit on him for some of our racing fans. Flying Arrow is by Tappet, and I believe Gainesway also is on the horse country tours, and so his father is Tappet, and he stands for a significant amount of money. He only raced one time, and he was donated by an individual who really cares about our horses and wanted to make sure that although he wasn't showing much potential at the racetrack, she knew that he could be a really good show horse. And so we were really excited to have him come over, and he's the type of horse that we like to have in the program because he was pretty straightforward and easy to find a home for.
All right, shall we carry on?
Walk on through. Is there anybody else on this side you want to know?
Damani here already got picked up. He's just left this morning to his new home. He was from Godolphin, and he's been with us for a couple of months, did really well. He's one of our young ones, one of the 2017s. Mostly napped during the day, but he's now off to a good career path. Pepper Lane here is adoptable. Always looking for attention and to find ways to get it. What do you think? You gonna say hi? No, he just wants treats.
And anybody that's interested in seeing the horses that we have for adoption, you can go to our website at newvocations.org. The majority of the horses that we're going to see today are currently up there and available for adoption. You'll see videos and pictures of all of them.
We found a sweet spot. Oh, that feels good. Yep. Okay. All right.
And just to give a little bit of, before we go outside and get in the wind, a little bit of the history of New Vocations. As I started earlier, we were founded in '92, and since that time we've grown into multiple facilities located in New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Louisiana, and here in Kentucky. Our facility here at Mereworth Farm is kind of our flagship facility. It's our main facility. It's our largest facility, and we're very blessed to be here. We've partnered with the Susan Donaldson Foundation, and the farm itself of Mereworth Farm, which the Susan Donaldson Foundation owns, is a 1,200-acre farm, and we are on about just over 150 acres of that farm, and we partnered with them. They allowed us to build this facility specifically to spotlight the rehab and retraining of retired racehorses, and it's just been a really great partnership. It's allowed us to expand our mission and take in more horses. On average, we're serving over 500 thoroughbreds and standardbreds on an annual basis. Last year, we had over 370 adoptions, which is amazing. And I would say on average, we are adopting anywhere from 25 to 40 horses. That range is on our monthly range. In December, we had just over 40 horses adopted in just that month. Now, that is for all of our facilities, but this facility itself plays a huge role in that. So, let's walk on. Are they ready outside?
Well, we've had some requests, it appears.
Oh, okay. We've got some questions.
Flash, who's currently trying to eat my hair.
Yes, let's do it.
It does kind of look like straw. You're right.
What's the questions?
We had requests to see him. He is one of our adoptable horses. His fee is waived, and I've had some questions by email about why it's waived, and it's really because this guy's been with us for over a year. He's doing really well, and I'm trying to help him find a home. So we've tried to eliminate any barriers, such as those that are financial, and he even has a $500 shipping credit, which means that we will reimburse up to $500 to get him home to you. So this lovely fella can go home with you anytime if you're an approved adopter. He's an eligible bachelor. As you can tell, he's terribly mean. Joking. And this is what he's like all the time. He's been like this, very lovable, goofy. We've taken him on trails. There is nothing that phases him. He's pretty fearless. And he goes out with one of our tougher gelding groups because he's the anchor, the pacifier. He keeps them all sane. He had an abscess, and that was the only thing stopping us from getting more video of him, but he's clear of that now. Just got some new shoes today, and he's ready to go. So
Why don't we use him for just to go through the process before we go outside? So, for instance, Sunset, he's been with us over a year, which is exactly a year or around a year?
It was a year, January 11th,
okay.
So even more than a year.
Which is very long for us. Our average day is more like 90 days. But he came all the way over from California as well. He did have some soft tissue injury that he sustained when he was racing, and that's very common. The number one reason that we get the retired racehorses, the number one reason they retire is due to an injury, and it can be anything from a minor muscle strain to something like he had, where he had injured his suspensory, and that specific ligament takes quite a bit of time to heal. So he was officially retired, came to us. Leandra's team did all the rehab for him, gave him everything that he needed, all the vet work. And once he was healthy and sound and ready to start back to work, we brought him over to this side of the farm, and her team started riding him. And just basically, tell us a little bit about once you start riding him, what the process is there.
Yeah, so, first things we always do, he had gotten used to turnout already because he had gone through that in his rehab, but a lot of them need the social transition and to get back into the groove of being with a group. A lot of them haven't been with a group when they come to us since they were babies. So that's numero uno. Secondly, we work with them on the ground and we try to figure out their personalities a little bit. So we'll teach them how to lunge, start them in our round pens, and figure out a little bit about what makes them tick, strengths, weaknesses, where they are in their kind of mental capacity, and that might be with maturity or what they want to do, energy levels, everything involved. And then once we get to know them, we get them under saddle and we start transitioning them. We'll start at the walk. Again, we're always looking for the mental and physical thresholds of each horse, because you really have to go on a case-by-case scenario. They're all individuals, just like people. So it's just figuring out pieces to the puzzle. So we'll start them walking, see if they can walk in a relaxed and happy manner. And then we go on to get them through trot and canter. The longer they're here, the more we introduce them to. They almost always have been started through ground poles. And then if they can, and if they're here long enough, we'll start them over jumping and just figure out what they want to do and do some sort of refinement. I guess somebody had asked how tall he is. He stands at 16'1". He is kind of a stockier build. He's sort of quarter horse build. So there are a lot of different disciplines that he'd be good for. He's gonna eat your phone. He's yum. That's tasty. So guys like him, we've taken him, hacked around, brought things like our inflatable palm tree to see if we can set him off. He hasn't cared about anything like that, but we really just try to stress test them, for lack of a better word, but we want to know what they're going to enjoy doing and what they can do, and we try to figure that out.
Great. Well, let's go on outside and see what's going on out in the indoor, the outdoor.
Both. Look at the sun. Both. Look at a nice day like this.
Have to stay close to the volume. Maybe span around a little bit so they can see a little bit of the facility.
For whoever wants to see Color Me Pegasus work, that's him working in the outdoor right now. So like I had mentioned, some of what we do when they're here for a little bit longer is work on refinement. And Color Me Pegasus, when he first came, he had, we weren't expecting him to have any soundness issues, and he had a super minor gait discrepancy that even my vet was rolling his eyes at me for noticing, but we found a little tiny chip in his fetlock, had it removed so that he wouldn't have any barriers to athletic pursuits. So now he's restriction-free, doing really well, and things like learning how to collect and engage their hind end are things that we work on in that refinement phase. So a lot of horses, when they're coming from the track, have what I call drag muscles. They're strong in front, used to sort of pulling their weight in the front and not having to really, collect back, because usually you're going for speed and not so much for engage their hind end to do things like more advanced dressage movement, be able to rock back to things like jumps. So now Pegasus has done really well with it, but we like to do cross-training sort of things, just like you might do as a person, training for different athletic pursuits. So he has an ace bandage behind him. I like that a little bit better than the rope systems, because a lot of times the horses are young and I don't want them to be really resistant to something solid. I want it to have more give. That's also a really cheap solution for people at home who want to have like a Pessoa system type thing, but don't want to spend maybe that much. So this is one of our riders, Allie, working with Color Me Pegasus. I never like to pick favorites, but he's definitely one of my favorites, shamelessly.
And he's been with us since he came in December, right?
He came in earlier than that because in July actually, because he came over to training in December, but he had gotten the chip removed and everything before that. Had a really quick, easy recovery and came right on back to us. But he could go in pretty much any direction. He's really fun. Just a really enjoyable all-around mount. He's one that if I have new riders, I put them on him because he's pretty forgiving. And then I think one of our first rides on him, I had actually put a headband with a unicorn horn with pipe cleaners. I had attached it to his bridle, and I think that unicorn status has fit him pretty nicely throughout. And he didn't mind it at all, so clearly it was meant to be.
Okay. And just a quick little shout out to, he's a son of the Pegasus, who stands over at Ashford. And he raced 13 times. This is Color Me Pegasus, 13 times, and won just over 25,000. Just a little facts there for you. Okay, I think we're gonna go over to the indoor. We've got another horse working inside that we wanted to show you, and we're not really sure how the wind is being picked up on the video. Oh, here we have a fight. So Rambow has a play date today when the Farrier comes, which is every Friday. Priscilla comes along and they have a little play date. So.
They're actually officially boyfriend and girlfriend now. It's basically Facebook official at this point.
Why don't you span around? They can kind of see the barn a little bit while we're walking through. Get a little perspective of our facility. We have two training barns, a total of 30 stalls, and then across the street, if you can see Cupolas Way in the distance, we have a rehab barn over there with another 20 stalls. So we'll have anywhere from 50 to 60 horses here at any given time. And I knew there was a question about how many horses are in our program. And with all of our facilities, we average about 150 horses at any given day. And so keep those questions going. We'll do our best to circle back to them. So now we're going to be entering into the indoor.
I like to say door so we don't alarm anyone as we're coming around the blind turn of the door.
Alright. Hey, let's go on in. All the way.
Rambow's going to go in whether or not we want him to.
So we're very fortunate to have this amazing indoor arena to work our horses when it's raining like it has been recently, or when it's super cold or windy. And of course today it's almost 70 degrees, but the wind we felt like the wind might be having a lot of feedback on the video, so we changed it up a little bit. So this is Presto, and I'll do a little intro on him because one of my jobs here at Vocations is when there's a horse to be donated to the program, I look at all of the information on the horses coming in. And I remember when we got the call for Presto, he was donated by St. Elias Stables and Rapoli Stables. They're partners on him. And their manager, Rory, was telling me how he had shown so much promise at the racetrack, and they were very, very excited for him. I believe he only made 2 starts, but his speed figures were really, really good. And he sustained a minor injury as well. and they opted to go ahead and just retire him. And he's come along quite well here. Who is he by? Presto. He is by Into Mischief, who stands over at Spendthrift Farm. He was a $290,000 two-year-old at the OBS sale a couple years ago. And so he's been here since October. Is that correct?
Yeah. We were laughing at Rambow.
Rambow's still on the show. So
He's got a really hard life.
now is Presto up for adoption now?
Yes, Presto is up for adoption. His profile is available on our website, horseadoption.com. You can look him up. The really remarkable thing too, some people shy away from horses who have had tendon injuries, but one of our vets, who's actually the president of the American Association for Equine Practitioners, so theoretically he knows his stuff, but he had evaluated Presto and found that the healing of that tendon was so good. You never quite know what to expect until you can see updated ultrasounds, but the healing had healed so well that the fiber pattern was really structured. You worry about it when it has irregular fibers, but our vet cleared him for everything, felt that he would have no limitations down the road, which is really quite exceptional. Presto has showed a lot of talent, just like he did on the track. He equally showed it here in prospect for and after the track career. So I don't usually take videos of them on their first ride in our program, but one of the videos up on his profile is of his first ride, because I was so wowed when I was riding him. I called one of my staff members and I was like, you've got to get a video of this horse. He's so cool. He just shows a lot of balance, especially for 3 turning 4-year-old. He has a really nice disposition, a willingness to work, a willingness to learn. He really doesn't get upset about anything. The only thing with him that we were working on really was exposing him to more things. Like you can tell, even for a horse who's been on the track, being in a ring that has all these different things going on, it might not look like it to us, but for a lot of horses, just having the jumps up here, like there are some things in the wing of the indoor that they look at, but like he just rode past an inflatable palm tree that he didn't think anything of. So he just showed this really nice mindset, and just physically he steps right up into the canter. He's got some more work to do in the refinement part of things, but for a 4-year-old, you could not hope to be in a better position with him. He could go on and do lots of different things. So we're pretty excited about him. I think he's going to be a really amazing, talented horse for somebody. He's also eligible for the Retired Racehorse Project's Thoroughbred Makeover. So with a horse like this, you've already got kind of an advantage because he's been started by us. He's doing really well. He's sound, sane, all the things that you could want. So
Great.
Presto's pretty neat.
Let's have her bring him in here. We'll meet him a little bit up close. We'll walk over here.
Julie, you want to bring him in?
Where the lighting's the best. So I know we have some questions, and I know some people have joined us late. So if you were not here with us when we started, basically we're here at New Vocations facility at Mereworth Farm, and we're giving you a virtual tour of our facility and meeting some of the adoptable horses like Presto. And we're about halfway through the tour right now. This is the riding training portion of it. And I know there was a question about if you can come and see the horses, if there's appointments. And yes, absolutely. Anyone who is interested in adopting from our program can go to our website at newvocations.org and click on Adopt, and it'll take you through our adoption process, which includes filling out an adoption application. Once you're approved, then we do welcome visits to see the horses. Right now, some of our facilities are limited to FaceTime visits and virtual visits or appointments, but under normal circumstances, we have appointments out here almost every day. So good questions. Anything else we have? Good? Okay. Anything else you want to say? What do you think, Miss Julie?
I love Presto.
Okay, let's walk into the other barn then. Thank you, Julie. Today is also Farrier Day on Fridays. our farriers out here. And on average, how many horses does he normally see on a Friday, Leandra?
10 to 15. 10 is probably average, and as heavy as 15. But we like to keep our farrier happy. Keep it around 10. But yeah, with as many horses as we have, and keeping them on a 5 or 6 week schedule, usually that means we're usually giving him around 10.
You can see a little bit more of our facility. You see horses that are turned out there. We're going to be walking over to our first barn over here. See the farrier's trucks are here. We've got our mascot Rambow waiting and his girlfriend Priscilla.
Did you talk about the backfields already? You can kind of see them from.
Yeah, we just added, for anyone that's been following our expansion here, another 70 acres to the back. There's some fencing out there that hasn't been painted yet. We just completed that recently. And we're starting to see all the way to the back. There's a herd of horses way out there. Those are ours as well. Those are our guys that are out all the time. And they're some of the ones that are rehabbing that'll be coming into training soon. Let's go to the barn. No, let's walk right through.
Yeah. All right.
We're giving this first-hand glance of the day-to-day here at Vocations. We're going to walk right in. Our farrier has not been alerted to this, I believe. So we're doing a live Facebook Live tour right now, guys.
Yeah, get to it there. Stay away from me.
So you just got a speed trim?
Show them the star of the show.
Wow. Okay, let's walk on through. Somebody down here just got some new shoes. You can see them shining. Can you stand her up a little bit? No, sorry.
This is Mo lauded,
Okay,
actually.
let's stand about next. Let's take a little look at Mo Lotted here. He's a new one that just came in.
Yeah.
He's an Uncle Mo, stands over at Ashford. And when did he come in? Let's see. It was
Not too long ago. Came
date in February, yeah, just
Yeah.
last month. He was a $650,000 purchase as a yearling. He was donated by St. Elias Stable as well, the same donors or with the partners of Rapoli there for Presto. He came up, like we said, last month from Florida, and he was with Todd Fletcher training down at Palm Beach Downs. So he just got his new sneakers on, and we'll start training soon. So we were going to take a peek at another adopted one, right?
Yeah.
Cassie Lou here.
This is darling Cassie Lou, who created a little bit of an upset in the when she got posted because she was so popular. And she finally found her home, and she'll be leaving this weekend, actually. This is her. She's another one who was with us for a little while and did rehab. She had chips removed from both her knees, but rehabbed really nicely. Her knees are in good condition. She's cleared for jumping, but has shown a lot of prospect in both dressage pursuits, and we're excited to see what she's going to do. The world is her oyster at this point. Right?
And did you say where she's going?
She is going to North Carolina.
North Carolina, all right. Okay. Do we have Cocoroco down here? Is that who we're going to see?
He is eating his
Oh, okay.
snake chain
Let's
behind
swing over.
you.
I just wanted to show him real fast. So this is Cocoroco, and he actually came down from New York through the Take the Lead program. That is NYPA's aftercare program that we partner with, and they have been great supporters of what we do. We've taken a lot of horses from the New York program there, and he's up for adoption too, right?
Yes, he's on our website.
He's going to check out his girlfriend here, right?
His neighbor just came back from getting his.
Maybe come this side. Come here. And he's currently up for adoption. He was up at our Ohio facility, and we just brought him down here earlier this week.
Coco likes to make grumpy faces, but he's a lark. He's a big tough guy. One of the things with him that we do as part of our whole process really is look to see if there are any imbalances. So our trainer Xenia had noticed with him that he was a little bit stiff, so we're gonna have him, he's gonna get a massage today. He'll get work done, get some body work done to try to figure that out so that he can continue on in a happy and balanced manner, because if they're not feeling comfortable, they're likely not going to train very well. And then that mentality of stress or pain sort of sets in while you're working, so then you have to undo that once you figure it out. It's a lot easier just to start well and balanced from the start. So that's what we're trying to do with him.
And then we wanted to take a peek at Get Thee behind me.
Yep.
And named Tiffany. You can check out some. Real quick, we gotta feature Y Frank too. Y Frank just came up from. Is it Y Frank?
Yeah.
Okay. He just came up from Arizona. So one of the things we'd like to note is New Vocations takes in horses from all of the states that have racetracks, and we don't get very many from Arizona, but we got Frank, and he's raced over 50 times. He's quite a thorough horse, right?
Did we get this one 83?
83 times.
I think I might be wrong.
Yeah, it took him 3 days to get here, and he walked off like a champ and just like he took it all in. Yeah, he's not up for adoption yet, but he will be soon. You guys can. He's one to watch for.
Definitely one to watch for. He was progressing really nicely, and unfortunately it's abscess season, so he's spending some QT time just recovering from that. But seeming like he's going to be an amazing horse. Really excited about that. Some familiar faces. This is Unequal. Still looking for his home. Has one of the most kissable faces in the barn. He's the sweetheart. Is he the sweetheart?
We are not sure why this guy's still here. He is just one of the barn favorites.
Yeah, and he's incredible on trail rides. We'll walk past big giant round bales that are terrifying to every other horse, and doesn't mind Rambow underneath his feet. Oh, that's nice. You say hi to everyone? Over here, this is where Mo Lottie lives. You met him. We have an imposter, and this is not you. This is a brand new horse that just came in today. This is Dinah. Hi.
She literally just arrived 10 minutes before we started this this video. All right. So yeah, our new delivery here, arrival. This is Dinah Wynn, and she sold as a yearling for $25,000. She had 12 starts and won just over $17,000. So we'll get her settled in and with the group here in the next couple of weeks. Oh, and that's right. Thank you. And the really cool thing about her is that her breeders actually claimed her a year and a half ago for $5,000 to retire her, and they gave her the time off, let her just turn out, be a horse, and then they donated her here to New Vocations, which was great. We love seeing that.
This is English Channel. We call him Chappie. And the prospect this whole time. I think we have videos of him already. We're working on just developing his hind end because he's a little bit weaker in the hind end, talking about that balance. It's hard when they still have that drag muscle and not the push muscle so much yet. So we're working on getting his butt a little bit stronger so he can carry himself in a more collected manner, because he's kind of a little bit legs everywhere, right? Just legs everywhere while we work with you, but could not have a better personality. Not like one of those horses you feel like is running off with you. He's just very much where you are, comfortable with whatever.
So I had some questions about how often are the horses ridden in general?
So going back to every horse, we create a plan for on a very individualized basis, right? And so for some of them, that means like oftentimes we'll start them on 4 days a week, so every other day. and looking to see how they respond to it, if they need more development. It's a really fluid pattern, I guess you could say, because that like 3 or 4 times a week is pretty average, but then sometimes as they're maturing and growing, they decide that they want to test you a little bit more, so we might bump them up to 5 times a week, or some could just be really exceptionally easy and the same horse every time you ride, and having a little more maturity, so then we might just do 2 times a week, and then you can see how they respond to that and adjust. So some horses who start really easy, then like I said, they'll mature, or they get in a new herd dynamic outside and they feel a little more bold with themselves, so then we might go up or down. But I'd say on average 3 or 4 times a week is what we do. So that might surprise people. I know some people think we have to ride them every day to like get them not to be hot, but we don't find that that's consistent with our observations here. What we've noticed is that we can go past our other horses too. Most of them take really well to the retired life, or being in a new career track, and turnout does wonders. We have really ample, nice turnout, so we're fortunate in that sense that gives them a very natural basis for their lifestyle. It's good for them, and it helps to burn off some energy that we don't have to work to deal with under saddle.
Well, I think we're coming close to the end of our tour. This is Color Me Pegasus that you guys saw earlier today. In closing, we just wanted to have a little PSA of how you can help. There's a lot of ways that everyone that's watching can help us. One of the easiest ways that you can help New Vocations and the horses that are here find homes is by following us through social media, either our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter, and sharing the information about our horses. The more we can share about the horses and our posts that we put out there, the more likely they are going to get adopted quicker, which means that we can get in more horses quicker as well. So if all you can do is like our page and share some of our posts, that works wonders. So we would love to have you do that. And again, we have an Instagram handle, Twitter handle, as well as Facebook. Obviously, you're watching through here. But if you're watching the recording, you can look that up. The other things that you can do to help is if you're interested in adopting, we'd love to have you consider a thoroughbred or standardbred for adoption. And you can click on adopt on our website at newvocations.org and learn more about how to do that. Also, you can learn if you're interested in making a contribution to our program. For instance, all of our stalls, you saw names on them, like SF Bloodstock sponsored this stall. We have all types of opportunities to sponsor things here at our facility, as well as sponsoring horses and things that we do. And so obviously it's those type of contributions that help us run the day-to-day operations of our program, and we really appreciate that. You can find that on our website too by clicking on donate. And then we also, tomorrow, to celebrate the Louisiana Derby, we had great plans trackside there, but have obviously been changed because they're going to be running without spectators. And so we're still moving forward with our silent auction. You can go to our website and click on events, and you can support our silent auction. We have all kinds of information, or all types of different items that you can bid on. If you're an equestrian, if you're not an equestrian, there's all types of things to look at there, and we appreciate your support. We also are collecting pledges from the owners that are racing on that day, and we already have been posting those pledges as they've been coming on. And I also want to give a shout out for TVG and NBC Sports. They're going to be showing the Louisiana Derby tomorrow, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., live racing, and we hope that you guys might tune into that and support either our silent auction or just visit us online and start sharing our information. So if we don't have any other questions, you can still put them if you're watching this after the fact and it's not live. We will still be answering questions after this is done. We really thank you for taking the time to visit, and also for your patience with us on our first tour. We're trying to figure this out.
We'd love to hear your suggestions. If you'd like to see new things or other things that we did not show, please let us know. We'd love to hear the good and bad feedback. What can we do to make these tours better? So thanks again for joining us. We appreciate it. Stay safe.